Welcome to Nevermind The Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind The Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you on the airways on WNTF, Nevermind The Furthermore. Friends, Nevermind The Furthermore is brought to you by several important sources, chief among them, of course, being our good friends over at IndieCD.org. That's the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, musicians, creatives, flatters, proofreaders. Basically, friends, if you have a dream you're trying to get off the ground, that's where you go to make it happen. IndieCD is your place to find creatives, and it's your place to be hosted as a creative. Right now, Joe, until the end of the year, is running an insane sale. What will be normally $40, you can get for $5. For only $5, you can have your online presence secured and in a curated situation by Joe Bachman with, all the craziness that Twix or Twitter or X or Twix or whatever it is going down, getting where, a typo lands you under fire from the many Zuck bots. There is no better time to make sure that you have a fallback, a safe bastion in the storms that rise around us. So please consider joining IndieCD and do it quickly. Now, not just to get Joe more folks, but because after the first, it's going up to $40, a one-time $40 fee. And I'd like you guys to save that money, in part because we want IndieCD to be the place to go for all us creatives and a great sort of hub to connect. It's one of the things that IndieCD has that few other places have. It's an ongoing calendar of events where people are going to be at. For us small-time folks, I've yet to find a single reliable place where you can find a calendar of events where programming related to what we do can be found, to where you can find the opportunities of shows. So it is a great thing to be part of. I'm a proud member. Now, I'm not just a spokesman. I'm also a client. But so please consider joining IndieCD.org. And if you are interested in it, remember that the Indie Creator Con, that's IndieCreator.com, is going on in Fowler in February, the 24th, from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. It will be free to the public. To keep it free to the public, I am asking a $50 table fee, which can be paid to me or given over to White Boot Arms and Artistry, LLC. That would be my company. And we hope to see you guys there. We're starting to get a few people who are, related to this program already planning to show up. We're hoping to get more folks who are looking for booth space. And, this is going to be a good draw for the community. It's going to be a good draw for the people. And usually by February, people have financially recovered from the Christmas hit and they want to do something different, have an escape. So I want to make sure that this is an ongoing event that we can do. To do that, I need your support on the front end, and we have lots of support for the back end of things. So consider being involved in that. We're also made possible by sales of, and pardon my voice, it's cutting out, the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe. Really? Thank you. And the Simple Spear, part of my ongoing series of books teaching you the basics of swordsmanship. We are made possible by my games. The published versions of my games that you can get right now are Melee, my ultralight little skirmish simulation game based on heavy armored combat, and Big Stompy Robots, the core rulebook, which this is your introduction to the Big Stompy Robots universe. There's all sorts of lore, great units. You can use minis that I'm trying to get set up. Yes, Joe, I know about my artistic assignment. Yes, I will be working on that as soon as I clear a few things off my to-do list, basically because both our wives will kill me if I don't get Haints and Hellfire done soon. I was slated to have it done by Christmas. Wanted it done by the end of the year. We will see. I did not expect to have 5 days of complete stomach-related nightmares. But the 3D renderings, Joseph. Okay. But till then, rules light, fun, easy. You know how I roll. As well as my fiction, which includes books like Through the Thinning Veil, which are 7 short stories to chill your bones. This has been one of the best quick read books that people have found lately. I want to do more. A volume 2 is definitely planned. Again, once Haints and Hellfire, which is born out of this. It was originally going to be a short story that decided to grab me by the throat and say, no, I'm going to be a monstrous project, and you can't stop me. So that is going on. If you want any of my books, they can be found on Amazon at the link that will be that's in the chat. Probably one of my friends will throw it in there, or in my direct the description at the end of the video. 1 second. My country's showing a little bit, I suppose, with that lovely use of a mason jar, but ball jar, sorry. But it is getting things done. Now, as for accountability, do I have my phone? Yes, I do, because it will be easier for me to check my accountability via my phone. I have been doing a very small amount of writing as my mind has allowed me to focus. So I'm at 24,389 words on Haints and Hellfire, still trucking along. I've also, because I was not up to that style of thinking whilst rocking the fever, I've been working on editing a cup and formatting my very old game system, the Microlight system, into a full book that will be released early 2024, and working on that. And then after that is polished up and done, I'm going to be going into the deep dive to reformat the Base Plus 2 book, core rule book, and get that out, hopefully, we'll say first quarter 2024. I'm doing a lot of prep work for things and organizing as I go through. I am still battling very similar health issues as I have been. So there isn't a lot of change. I have not gotten bad enough to need hospitalization again. However, I am eager for the strain on my system to stop at any day now. And I will be going in today, this afternoon, actually, speaking to my primary care provider to see if we can't get some of that addressed. So progress is being made. And it's important, guys, when you're limited, to balance that. What can I still do? What should I stop? And I have been scolded by several people to, Nick, you've been very ill for a while now. You need to fully stop and rest yourself. And believe it or not, I've done more resting during this exchange than I have during basically any other in my adult life. This has laid me out. I think this may have laid me out harder than my early bout with an unknown flu-like ailment that came out at the end of 2019, but supposedly wasn't there till 2020. But all the symptoms were. Anyway, so I'm a little weaker and I'm a little shakier, but I am holding together. I want to put a huge thank you to especially Joe, and I actually got a message from Trey a day or two ago. And forgive me, my timelines are shot because it's sort of like working the swing shift. If I go to bed early, which I've started doing because I'm so tired, I wake up at 3, and then I'm up for a couple hours, and then I go back to bed. But it means I don't know if it's tomorrow or today or whatever. I have just reflexive swing shiftitis going on, but I am making progress. I'm doing a bit of artwork just to try to slow down and focus when I can. It keeps me seated, but we will see. I need to talk to you guys. I've tried to pick a topic, and this one's a little hard for me, so I'm going to try to work through it because when you have been the kind of person who gives a lot, you find after many years of it, it becomes necessary to set up boundaries and kind of be careful who's around you. Because there are people who will take until there's nothing left and then move on. Several of them have recently been through my world. And there are people, the inverse, who will actually care about you and actually check on you and actually be of great service and kindness and help. And so the idea of swallowing your pride and accepting that is something that is in part difficult to me because My response to a lot from very early on is rugged and extreme self sufficiency whenever possible, and that's uh, why some of Nick's rules were written, and why it's so important to find mission statements. What we're talking about victory conditions. Usually, I talk about them in a tactical level. I'm sorry, uh, and we need to go up to a full strategic level with this concept. We have we have to find the right people and have our victory conditions and make sure that they meet. And I have found that my victory conditions align very much with the gentleman over here who was also kind enough to cover for me when I went down. The idea that a rising tide lifts all boats and building people up and being of service in their dark days. Um, this is I believe, a good and a noble effort, and it's something that matters, and it's one of the best ways to do good in the world. However, I also, because of the way I was raised and the trainings of early so-called friends, I learned very early and very often to disregard anything I'm going through as much as possible because someone in my circle or in my family or wherever will be going through worse. And how dare I presume, you know, uh, a lot can happen, but don't bleed on the carpet. And when you find people who actually reach out and are supportive and genuinely care about you and your well being, if you've been burned enough, the tendency is to back up and get really wide eyed because it's like, oh God, and have the genuine fear that you might lose them. Because if I have in my mission, in my victory, my personal victory conditions, being useful is, oh God, it's nearly, you know, an oath. It's way, way up there in how I define both what I am and who I am. So my tendency when I am of limited capacity is to then pull away from everybody because I'm not useful. So why would anybody wish to engage in conversation or whatever with me? And while that's not right and not normal, it is something I am finally getting to a point where I can acknowledge and work through. And of late, I've been just so honored by the people that I call friends, the real good ones, being there and being supportive, even when it's, so many people, Nick, if you'd like to help, how can I help? There's a really, this kind of health condition thing, I got to go through it and figure out what's going on and, what side effects am I going to have to deal with because I am a loosely cobbled together pile of ailments and insanity that's just sort of strung by a relentless drive to keep charging the enemy as long as there is life. So that's what I do. And I'm just truly grateful for the folks that I know. That large number of them are in the chat, uh, who are there for me when so few have. And I'm also grateful for times like this because, like I tell people, I watch when it's raining. I watch how people act, and there are some people who've, really, really just stepped up and been there, continue to be there, and a few people who've come out of the woodwork who I haven't heard in a while to ask for favors. Ironically, because they haven't been following along, so they didn't know it was a really, really bad time to. Hi, I literally haven't talked to you in a couple of years, but can you hook me up with this, and this? And it's kind of funny. Um, but I heard it somewhere, and it falls into uh, when you are, as a small business person, as a community member, as just a social human being, when people tell you what they're actually about, listen to them. You know, and what when you see the people, and it's like, yeah, they're good folks, and that's what they're doing, and their behavior will tell you about them. You know, and they'll out themselves. Now, I have a problem. I have a curse. Well, it's a double-edged sword. It's a curse and a gift. I can see the potential in others. I've always been able to see the potential in others. And it is one of my great joys to help people find and achieve that level of potential. But the weakness that I have is I can see the potential so clearly sometimes I can't see the actuality. And that has allowed me more times than I'd care to mention to get blinded and endure stuff I shouldn't. Because some folks just will never work up to their potential. And to all of you out there who are watching this and in my chat, I haven't checked through the chat. You guys know I like to hit things live, but you're all doing things. You're going to tell me your accountability. And even if it's doing this, this, and this so that I can spend, the next weeks doing family stuff and relaxing, awesome. I am all for scheduled downtime. That is an activity, friends. But, you guys who are doing things and are planning and are building, you're really lapping the you that's stuck on the couch doing nothing. You're lapping the people will sit there and tell you that, well, it doesn't matter if you try to write something or make a book or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be Stephen King. And you'll have these naysayers, and they're chaining you down. And if you look at the people who get that way, they're almost always the kind of people who aren't doing anything. They're not trying. Their existence, they have settled in their existence, and they are in the crab bucket pulling people down. And over the last week, between the fevers and the assorted long time sitting thinking to myself, realizing what kind of people are in my world versus the kind that used to be in my world, and the remnants that are in my world of different incarnations. I'm seeing people much, much clearer than I have. And I am marveled yet again by the beauty and wonder of some folks I know, and saddened and tired by some folks who are only out for number one. And if you are out there and you're only out for number one, God bless you for trying to get it done. But if you're not giving back anything to the world around you and the communities that you're in, it's not going to work well for you. It just won't. So discernment is a wonderful thing. And even when you're weak, even when you're sick or you're financially tight or when things are going wrong, because they go wrong for everybody. You can choose to wallow in that and suffer, or you can choose to learn something from it. Anything, you know? It may simply be appreciation. It may simply be perspective. It may be a better understanding of what you want to do, a reminder that none of us are immortal. Well, except for Johnny Cage and probably Dan Hollifield. He's an old god of Appalachia. And I, okay, a few of you people who aren't quite as human as the rest, well, but you don't count for the mortality thing. High vis dragons aside, but you guys are doing things. And with the limited time, you're doing the best you can. And I'm proud of you. And when things go wrong, I'm not saying false positivity. I'm not saying that toxic, everything's going to be all right. And nothing goes wrong and da 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 da. My job isn't to lie to you that way. But I am saying that even through some difficulty, it can be handled with grace, with patience, and there's wisdom to be gleaned. There's education in the perspective. And I hope that I would hope you never have to endure unpleasantness. But I'm hoping that if you do, you at least gain wisdom from it. And you look around at the people you know, and you either become appreciative of them or you just cut them out. We don't have time for people who are burdens on us. We don't have time for false egos and bullying. Unless there is an absolute reason to maintain those connections, it's not a bad idea to sever them if they are a drain on you. That's just health. And with that, you can take the energy that they're taking from you and put it towards writing your next book or doing your next piece of art or doing your next comic or graphic novel, sequential glory, animation, whatever. Heck, you could take that energy to have, instead of spending the time you're chatting with the people who are, just maybe they're assholes, they constantly want your attention, and they want advice that they won't follow so that they can then yell at you that it didn't work. Whatever they're about, you can take the negative energy you're kind of throwing into that waste and you can put it to a good use or a fun use. You have a little bit more time, a little bit more juice to play, whatever video game you want to play, or write that story or make that song or whatever. But don't let continual waste drain away at your soul. Okay? Figure out your purpose. Figure out what you want. Make a plan and then work the plan and then assess if it worked. Just kind of oola loop it. Just cycle through and you can improve because you can do this. You can write, you can draw, you can do whatever you really truly want, guys. I know normally I'm louder and more vivacious. This is about the juice I have right now. But the message is still the same. That you can do better and you can be better. And by being careful where you assign your energies. Because if you're helping good people, you're putting more good out in the world. If you're enabling and empowering good folks to have their dreams, some of that comes back on you. Even if you try desperately to not have it. Trust me, if I had had my way in several occasions, there are a lot of things I would have done for people that no one would have known ever happened from me. I'd far rather people just believe in the, wow, there's somebody nice out there who's helping. But equivalent exchange does not care if it's positive or negative. That boomerang will come back for you. And if it's good, let yourself have the win. Okay, guys? And if you're looking for ways to get better, if you're looking for opportunities to get better and do good for folks, well, I think I know just the place to get involved with.
Hi, I'm Joe Bachman with the Independent Creator Directory, and today we're going to talk about signing up for the Independent Creator Directory. All you have to do is go to IndieCD.org, that's IndieCD.org, come over here, click on Become a Member. From now through December 31st, it's only a $5 fee to sign up. After December 31st, it will be going up to $40. Originally, it was $20, but with the cost of the server space and everything, we're needing to up the prices to help keep the lights on. But for the 1-year anniversary of IndieCD, we have dropped it to $5. Also, if you go to my podcast and listen to the first episode, you can get a 50% off coupon to be able to sign up for as little as $2.50 right now. If you have any questions, though, feel free to reach out to me at jbachman@indiecd.org, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have. The $5 is still the lifetime membership, just like the normal price of $20. I still do all the setup for you. You still get access to the blog, and you still get access to the calendar. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Joe, for everything you do. Let's go into the comments now, because anything I say is good. I give you guys some gold, but there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of just quality floating around in the chat here, and I think that's what you guys are here for. So first through the door is Joe Bachman. Good morning and happy Friday, folks. Happy Hot Friday, Joe. They called off work last night, so I'm officially a day walker again. Fat guy happy dance. Fat guy happy dance. So Joe will get reset and recalibrated, and then life will be better on Joe for hopefully a few months. Get ready for some streams, says Joe, to be taking place over on the Independent Creator Directory channel again. I'm off work for the next 2 weeks and plan to get as much done as possible. Yep, we are plotting a whole lot of crafting on our end as well. Or it might be part of why I'm tinkering and trying to do some new art. And we're joined by Carl. Hello, Carl. Carl Witzman. Good morning, Joe, and any lurkers. Good news on the day walking, Joe. We're woke Alec, Donna, and Dawn. Well, Donna's right there. Hey, Joe and Witzman. Hey, Donna. You keeping the mojo in the dojo, darling? No. I know. My voice isn't quite where it normally goes. But I'm doing the best for you because you deserve it. And let's see. I just realized what time it was. Yep. Joe, I have something to show you tonight in the green room. Well, my oh my. I have Mae West quotes banging into my head, and I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm just going to say, Joe, there's something for you to look forward to. There's Donna, and now to conjure Dawn. Takes lid off ice cream. I saw a neat recipe that supposedly turns ice cream into bread, and I'd like to try that sometime. Maybe with one of the pints that are getting older when I get them on sale. Accountability, yes, that will soon be in Kelly's anthology of pulp stories. That's probably Atomic Stories #1 by Kelly Austin. Wonderful. And we're joined by Woke. Hey, Woke, everyone. Good morning. There's Woke. Hey, Woke. Morning, all. And we're joined by Trey. Hey, Trey. I hope you're doing well, dear. And Don came in while I was waving at Trey. Morning, all. Morning, Don. My fellow Orange Cat appreciator. And let's see. Dawn says, I've been up since 8. Carl, I have a doctor's appointment today. Dawn and Trey, hey. So, after the dawn, huh? Yep. And Trelana says, it looks like a full house today. It looks like we're hopping pretty well. And, you guys are keeping the comments coming, so I do appreciate it. Carl says, I was up way before dawn in both regards. I was up before Carl today, just to shock everyone. I just had to take care of some stuff before I could do my show. I would say more of a stacked deck with all these jokers, myself included. Womp womp womp. That's fine. Trust me, there are Joker and other clown motif individuals are not new to these parts, dearie. And yes, Carl. Probably won't be in the chat as much today since I have actual work to do for once, but I'll be listening in. Well, I hope you find it entertaining, Mags. Carl says, finished watching SOC, but LMS is still waiting. Yeah, I've been falling asleep at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'll wake up for a couple hours, do something. So I'm sorry if I've been missing many of my evening programs. I just run out of juice, but I know Stupid O'Clock is always a good time, and Last Man Standing is great. Poor Trey. Yeah, well, she used to put up with Joey all the time and me some of the time. That's more than anyone should have to deal with. Don says, so Joe has less work and you have more. Typical. Ain't it just? Trelana says, mine's all paperwork to help out a coworker, so it's a lot of digging for certifications for a project I was never on. As long as I think of it as solving a mystery, it's kind of fun. Trelana's going full Velma, and you are all welcome for that mental image. Orange stockings under the Christmas tree. Anyway, moving on. Make sure you find some Scooby snacks. You see, during the fun. I have funfetti mini muffins. Well, that sounds good too. And Joe's greeting everyone. Oh, hi, Joe. Or is it not Joe? No, I don't think Joe is in trouble, so I don't think not Joe has to arrive. His secret alter ego. Not Joe. I can see Joey printing off a picture of his own face and cutting out eye holes to look out. I'm not Joe Biden. Just a little bit bigger than normal. I could not see Joe do that. That face. That was unnecessary, sir. And Trelana says, welcome back to Day Walking Joe. And hey, Joe. Donna Carly Colleen, I will probably be late for the green room tonight. We have the company party tonight. Oh my goodness. The little concrete mixer full of margaritas, y'all are going to get schnockered. Oh, peace be with Joe and his stomach tomorrow morning. May hydration find him. Blessed Mother Mary, Queen of all cocktails, coming to Joe in this his hour of darkness. Anyway, the sun is shining again. I wonder if it's going to make a habit of it again. As long as we don't have a major astronomical event, the sun will come out. However, if it looks like we'll be able to see the aurora borealis or a meteor shower or something of that kin, you can rest assured that the entire Midwest will cloud over just to spite me. Good morning, Kelly. That's Kelly Carlisle, and I've mentioned her stuff before, but I'm going to throw the picture up. Give me just a second. She is the creator of not only From the Paranormal Case Files of Bishop Kincaid, the Rembrandt Stratagem, but Atomic Stories #1, now featuring the work of Carl Witzman. Unless she's got another one I didn't know coming, this is all really great stuff. Good morning, Kelly. And good morning, Alec. I hope you're having a good one. You've been very busy. Hey, Kelly and Alec. Good morning. And no problem, Joe. You'll still be able to see it. Oh, my. I wonder if it's a gradient. Anyway. Hey, Kelly. Also, just as a message to the folks who I love dearly, sending me images of that gradient plant when I feel like this is a special form of torture. And at some point when my faculties return, I may have to have a rebuttal. Let's have it stop for a little bit, guys. And hey, Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Joe B will be in the green room pre-greased. Don't you know what happens if you grease up? There's nary a creature alive who can catch a greased Bachman. Anyway. Just don't drink and drive. And if you have a calculator, don't drink and drive. But Kelly continues, burr, my heat's not working. Shivering right now while waiting on maintenance to come up and fix it. Oh, I'm sorry. Trey, does that mean you may be there too? Ooh. Hopefully. Poor Kelly. I hope they get there soon. Yes. Warm thoughts for you, Kelly. Lots of cuddles and hot piping beverages, luscious steaks. Great. Now my decided lack of full-size breakfast is coming back to haunt me. Squeeze at Trey. Yeah, God. I went to try to hit the slightly higher note and squeeze came out of me. I sound like a squeaker toy that's broken. Anyway. Trey is always welcome in that room, and poor Kelly. And good morning, Dan Hollifield of Apphilian fame and Last Man Standing. How are you, my good sir? Well, hello, Dan. And me too. The cold makes my pain much worse. Yes, cold is not exactly something I get along with very well either. But we will get through it, and we can't complain for those of us who have problems with it because it has been significantly warmer than it's been. But you stay warm and stay safe, and if it gets too uncomfortable in there, you go out because it doesn't have to be very cold to cause hypothermia. I know the 50s are enough to get you hypothermic if you're not paying attention with it. Maintenance needs to get there. Damn. Wait, I have to allow @Trelena Bachman on the Discord server? Well, you can try to stop her, Joe. I mean, preventing Trey from doing something she wants is, theoretically an option on the drop-down list. I mean, as is sewing yourself into a bed and getting bludgeoned to death by unseen forces. But, I mean, feel free. And Carl's putting his like on now. Well, thank you. Apparently, me talking about poor Joe getting stitched into his bed and bludgeoned is enough to earn a like from Carl. Well, that seems to work well. Hey, Dan. Yep, Joe B. There will be a Behind the Code on Monday night and The Burning is Love on Wednesday night this week. That's awesome. She's already there, Joe, and you'd better not change that. Oh, my. Yay, Joe. The official countdown is now at 9 days left to work between now and February 8th. Oh, goody, goody, goody. We can't wait. And the return of Not Joe Bachman. Not Joe Bachman has lumbered up from the depths of the shadows. It's like a not deer, but it's Joey, except his head hangs this way. And he only exists. He only insists on using Unix for everything. But don't forget to drop a like on the show, folks. It's much appreciated. We are definitely fighting the algorithm here. Everyone have good news. Everyone has good news today except Cold Kelly. That just means somebody needs to go cuddle up with Cold Kelly and warm her up. Not Joe. Why should I listen to you? Cold Kelly is an accurate statement. I'm so sorry to hear that. You shouldn't listen to him. He's the crazy one. And now I'm seeing a problematic ventriloquist act of Joe with not Joe. I'm crazy. And if you use code podcast1, you'll get an additional. Okay, guys, he put the code up.
Sorry, I think I just broke him.
$2.50, everyone. Right there. Code podcast1. You'll get your additional 50% savings. I've got a link to it. Go there. Just because it will be funny to get a 75-cent check in the mail. Joey, you're making my head spin. Joey makes my head spin too. He gives me the vapors. But I almost think you're slap happy today. Joey or me? And Joe says, well, I did get some actual sleep last night. I was running on about 3 hours of sleep yesterday, so I could start the transition. Let's see. Kelly Carlisle says, hey, Nick. Hey, Kelly. I'll send you the final finished anthology cover in a couple weeks after some name changes are done. Afterwards, you have permission if you wish to share all art and material. Oh, Kelly. We may have to fire up a special for that one, because that's exciting. Don says, I think you were also just happy to be done playing Night Frogger. Yeah, that is a pretty hard level. Alex says, dang it, now I gotta wake up. Want to watch the show. My heating pad has been keeping me warm and stopping the back pain. Oh my God. Heating pads are amazing things. I may have been very attached to mine recently. Woke says, got like 12 hours of sleep out of nowhere. Body crashed. Guess I needed it. More artwork coming back. Beautiful. You can take that and put that in the bank there, Woke. And there's Alec. Late. Hey, you're here. That's all that matters. And happy Friday, Cindy. It's always good to see you. And yes, I'm late. Well, we have a couple more minutes in the show. It is a Friday, so I'm probably going to hop off pretty quick, which means I do need to, have a comment dump. Let's see. There we are. Yeah, Cindy on YouTube. 11 watching, only 3 likes. Yeah. We won't discuss what my actual body temperature is right now. But, I put in the effort, and there might be a reason I'm leaving the overhead light off, because if you think I look washed out and weird now, anyway. Dawn, many blankets and unlimited coffee is the only thing keeping me from becoming a frozen human ornament. Oh my. Let's see. Dawn says, I uncled on my back pain since nothing was helping it, hence the doc appointment. I hope your back feels better, Alec. You can find all Nick's links at indiecd.org/about-Nicholas-Tockert. Yep, that is my home away from home. I use that more than my actual website because it's a better link. I have to do something about my actual website at some point. Hi, Donna. Shadow Fist Kung Fu and Tai Chi is sending a competition team to ICMAC next summer. Help fund the trip by joining the 50/50 raffle, bit.ly/shadowfist50. Okay. Well, that's cool. Thanks, Don. I hope something gets yours helped out. And Cindy Waves, yes, I actually made it to a real computer this time. I'm impressed. And Carl is glad that Nick is getting better. I am too. It's slow, but it is there. And we are making it. Let's see. And Cindy says, big stompy robots use simple swords and spears against fighting axes in a melee coming through the thinning veil. Oh, I'm not spectral mecha. I mean, I've already dealt with zombie mechs from outer space. Do I really want to deal with spectral mecha? Oh wait, that's in Designated Meat. I mean, what? No, I don't have more BSR novels in the works that I'm not talking about, because then I'll get in trouble. I'm still trying to deal with the revolt that went on with my beta readers. Let's see. Support Nick's efforts to teach people how to be safely dangerous. https://patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. Yes, please. Tune into Nevermind The Furthermore, Friday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, at youtube.watch all this gobbledygook. Check out the Historical Fencing Guild nights at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. youtube.com/@the-Historical Fencing Guild. Yes, barring disaster, I will be there at 8 o'clock tonight, my time. And get into the madness, youtube.com, that's Pop Science Dance channel. No warning for you. Don't let @camouflage61821 fool you. That's Brian K. Morris's YouTube. Drop into the tea room on alternate Saturdays. One of my patrons and a dear friend, Bladed Thesis, is running a delightful conversation program about Eastern martial arts. And I do hope you guys will follow it. I'll know I've made it when Cindy posts links of my work. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do one better.
Hi there, my name's Dan Hollifield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Aphelion website. Aphelion has been online since 1997. Since then, we've brought you the very best amateur science fiction and fantasy writing, and given the world at least 100 brand new professional writers from those who have walked through our doorways. So if you enjoy reading, look for Aphelion. That's www.aphelion, APHELION-webzine.com. webzine.com. A quick Google of Aphelion-webzine will give you everything you want to know, plus 20 years worth of our backlog of files, our archive of stories stretching back until February of 1997. Think of Aphelion as a permanent floating writer's workshop dedicated to helping new writers become proficient enough to become professional writers and best-selling writers. We have over 100 success stories to our name, and if you're an amateur writer, you may be our next triumph. And if you just like to read stories, we've got plenty of them for you. Just come on by and visit. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
The Aphelion webzine is one of simply the best, tragically under traveled sites on the web, and has been since the 90s. It's just such a resource, especially if you're just somebody who wants to read great, fun sci-fi. It's part of one of the great privileges of the circles I get to travel in, is I get to know people like Dan Holifield. Sorry, the new rig's a little imposing right now, but it seems to be working fairly well. And let's see, Cindy's got a big grin from what Dan had to say about her. Get Terrors, Amazon.com/stores/Brian K. Morris, author than his stuff. Trelana says, it's not the pain Olympics. People are allowed to have awful things going on at the same time and acknowledge it sucks for everyone. Blessed wisdom out of the Queen of the Construction Coven. Yes. We have to, acknowledge each other's suffering and appreciate that happens. Don says, I understand that. The people that have stuck with me for the last 3 years are miracles. Oh, Don, you were an absolute blessing, and we love you. True that, right? Find links to Dan Holifield's Aphelion webzine, books, and music at indiecd.org/about-Dan-Holifield. It's almost like that wonderful format is how you find people on indiecd.org. Oh my. And Cindy says, written by a teacher for teachers and parents who teach 3rd to 5th grade basic geometry and measurement. Learning Adventures Part 2 is coming up. Ooh, bit.ly/CKOEPP Amazon. Ooh, wonderful. Thank you. And Alex says, I get this, Nick. I know it all too well. To put yourself second, third, or even last, then people, and the people who stay actually stay. It shocks you, scares you, but it humbles you as well. Yes, absolutely. And I kind of loathe the part of me that's always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like these people have been on it, awesome for you for 20 years. They've been incredible people. At the back of my mind, it's like, yeah, but if they wake up one day and figure out that I'm actually this rampant goofball, and, they've been wasting their time. Imposter syndrome, folks. For some of us, it's, I'm not just an imposter as a author or my career or artist or whatever. I'm an imposter as a sentient human being. And, if anybody figures it out, it'll be back to the swamp with you, Check out Victoria Adams' books about helping caregivers give care. Amazon.com/stores, Victoria Adams, author, and then all that. And 15 minutes flew by. If you're anywhere near Des Moines this weekend, drop by Merle Hay Mall, as there will be not one but 2 major events going on. There's a home-based business craft show going on, as well as the 3rd Des Moines QuadCon. I'll be out there looking for a new home for some books, holiday dragons, and a mistletoe. That is glorious. I love that you've made a mistletoe. That just delights me on levels I can't appreciate. I can't express. I speak it the English language. Dawn says, watched Home Alone 2 for the first time in years. That line about people not forgetting you, just forgetting to remember you, hit me hard. Yeah. It's real easy to become a ghost in the liminal places between here and there, and being from the time between then and now. But we work hard to keep each other all fully manifested in these parts, and it is appreciated. Show going on as well. Third more. Oh wait, no, I already clicked that, and I'll catch up with y'all later. We are missing you already. We miss you too. Like for me, Ethan, just him being in my life shocks me, and I'm very grateful. And you, Nick, not putting me down because of what I've been through and seeing the good that means the world. You've nothing you've been through would warrant putting you down. Now, Alec, I want you guys to understand something. Alec, you needs to hear this too. I am not kind and complimentary. Really not. I'm a grumpy old man. And trust me, when I think somebody's being dumb or negative or something, I have an elaborate and expansive vocabulary and the capability to express it. Anyone who's seen me go on a proper rant about an individual who needs it knows. I don't know if you just heard my beloved wife's truly evil come from that line, but I am not one of those people who people get this idea, and it's because they see me around good folks and kids and small animals and that. I am not some mere fluff bunny, PBS joy and merriment bringer. Rest assured, I have, teeth beneath all this fur, and I'm totally comfortable laying into folks who need it. And if you hit a point where you need it because, you're doing something dangerous to yourself or others, rest assured, I would lay into you, and you would know, dear. Because that's what I do for anybody. So when I say that you've done nothing that needs, when you've done nothing wrong, I mean you genuinely have done nothing wrong, Alec. You're out there trying to do your best, make peace with the experiences and the angles from which you experience them. And that's all anyone can do. And I'll just be here and I'll support you, whatever you want to call yourself. And if that ever changes down the road, whatever you're doing, I think you have a mighty fine dream set up, and I want to see you accomplish it. Have a great weekend, Cindy. And to the naysayers, absolutely. Then Amanda, yesterday, her and I talked about things for about an hour. It was nice. The atmosphere was nice. It was different than what I used to be around. And see, that's part of what I was saying very early in this. You have to recognize that there are good people and enjoy it. And if you're around people and it's an uncomfortable atmosphere, you gotta ask yourself, why are you sticking around them? It says, which is expected around Amanda because she's a very lovely and amazing person. Now, suddenly her ears aren't going to work. Alec, and I didn't pay anybody. You know I have no money. Yeah, you do. I show you all the time. Uh-huh. Let's see. Sometimes all it takes is the right person, the right conversation to change the way you see things. Oh, my whole life got it's. I still find it hilarious how much of my life has been elevated and slightly confused just because I was walking by a conversation on campus and I could not help but meddle. I couldn't help it. I tried. I walked by and there's some people in the booth, and I was walking by and I hear, yeah, but what's the difference between a catapult and a trebuchet? And I tried. I tried to mind my own business, and I like walked into that wall, and then I, did the spin on my heel and had to walk over and tell a lovely young lady who resembled a mildly gender bent duo Maxwell at the time, dressed in all black, long black braid, that the difference between a trebuchet and a catapult is a trebuchet uses a counterweight and can go much farther, but has a much larger arm and requires a much more stable base, whereas a catapult is done by rope tension and can be placed on things that aren't quite as stable, such as barges. And we had a lovely chat, and I ended up getting basically the best friend I'll ever have in half, because eventually we found out that the cryptid, and yes, we used to call him a cryptid, the legendary Joe, there was a betting pool whether Joe was actually a person or just a means to keep creepy freshmen off Trelena. For a long time, there was a going at the coffee shop down the hall of whether or not Joe actually existed. I can't remember which side of the debate my buddy Shades was on at the time, but when he finally showed up on campus, it was a shock to a great many people that yes, he does exist. Yes, Virginia, there is a Joe Bachman. How the cryptids had turned, I know. I don't deserve these two in my life. I mean, I'm not giving them back. Yeah, Maddie says we're going to keep them. We have no choice in the matter. I always do what the piano player says, but you bump the right people at the right time, Thesis, and you're going to do things and great things, and it's just you got to be the change you want to see, folks. Dan says, I need to schedule downtime to record a pronunciation guide for the Spacebar audiobook this weekend. Scott has a narrator lined up he thinks would be perfect for the project. Delightful. And Donna's saying hi to Bladed. Bladed, everyone. Hey, Thesis. Hey, Thesis. Morning, Bladed. And bye, Cindy. Sorry, I had a cat in my arms. And Helena says, sometimes you don't need to hear everything will be okay. You just that you don't have to go it alone. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, when I hear people tell me, oh, everything's going to be okay, a lot of times that's a dismissal. It's just like, that's good to know. Thank you. And, it's harder to tell folks, no, it's not going to be okay. You're grieving a loss, or you're enduring having had trauma. Why would I lie and say it's going to be okay? I don't have, unless it's very necessary in certain circles and times, but otherwise it'll be like, look, it's going to be hard, but I'll be here. That's why my phone was on so often for so long. Now I will tell you guys, from 10 till 7 my time, my phone is on Do Not Disturb, because I had to do that because I had some people who didn't respect boundaries, and it became necessary that I get the option of 8 hours of sleep. And having work hours even for my donation gigs is beneficial. But let's see. Since the show's running late a little bit anyway, I'm going to run an ad. Here we go. Mike Jimmy Lorsch de Braun's a brilliant fella, and his life is doing such amazing things. I'm just proud to know the guy. And let's see. Kelly says, hi, Bladed. Hi to everyone I missed. Hello, Kelly Carlisle. I'm usually here in some fashion, but I don't tend to say much. I've spent far too much of my life thinking I need to be quiet in intelligent spaces unless I have something intelligent to say. Just stop that. You usually have something intelligent to say. Two, just because the people in this chat and occasionally on front of the camera are theoretically intelligent does not mean we are speaking or doing anything that is terribly intelligent at this moment. This is my goofy morning show for uplifting and educating, and you never know when Lydia's going to come floating by in a Santa hat. So don't ever feel that this is too highbrow an establishment, okay, Thesis? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I'm almost painfully flattered. But no, wade in at any time. And no, this is a space full of silly and unhinged people, half joking. No, that's about accurate. Right, Trey, because in the end, everything won't be okay. So telling people that doesn't do any good. Help while you can. Thesis, if I waited until I had something intelligent to say, people would think I was mute. And I tend not to think of myself as much of an artist. So around artistic people, I'm much more subdued than I'm around fellow martial practitioners. 1. Martial arts are an art. Hard stop. Arts are for everybody. Also hard stop. 2. I've seen what you make. You are an artist. Your journals are exquisite. Some of the other projects you do, also exquisite. You belong in this erstwhile company just fine, Thesis. The worst that will happen is you'll be encouraged and motivated to do more. Which, I will say this, like I say to all the practitioners in my life. The only thing you will get from me that's stern and demanding about this is I do believe any art, anything that gives you significant joy and I don't want to say is a basis of your personality, but something that is fundamental to you, that you've invested a lot of time in. Anyone should write about that. If you are a Western or Eastern martial arts practitioner, even if you only write an essay about one aspect, or you have the good sense and wisdom to write a book about what you do, write that book. If you were a practitioner of a different sort and you actually know what you're talking about, you have an obligation to write a book about it, because Lord knows people who don't know what they're talking about are running around on tinfoil, to ride a tinfoil broom. Yes, that is a very careful shot at a very specific individual. And I don't throw them lightly, but what the heck is her name? Scruffy Pigeon, Coyote Fluff or something. Anyway, has a whole series of books about metaphysical stuff that has been written and should not have been. There are a few books in this world that I consider are useful for absorbing spills or perhaps, propping something up. Somewhere there is an Italian restaurant that has a table and back that desperately needs that book under it. But outside of that, books like that give poor information, and people who know what they're doing in that field, who I'm totally not shouting out them who needs to be writing and working on their project at all, because I would never do that. That would be like bugging my beta readers to work on their writings, and I never do that. Yeah. Ugh. But write what you know, write what you love. Understand if you write something and it sucks, it's okay, because we all do. And there are these people called editors who can help make it better. Carl would say, I would tell you all to stop putting yourselves down, but Nick will lecture you when he gets there. Very Lamau, Carl. Very true. Yeah, y'all know what I'm about. I may not be running on all 8 cylinders right now, and frankly, I'm overheated and I've got a few lights blinking. Service engine soon. But I'm still doing what I do because that's what I do for all of you. Meanwhile, Callie is knocking everything off the desk. Be back. That's okay. We may or may not be here. That, and I tend to practice my guitar in the morning, so both hands are fairly busy. Now, that I respect. If you have this on because you're listening and you're using that as a time to sit and plink away at the guitar, I certainly have to respect that. Guitar is something I used to do a little bit of, and I was relearning before everything went bonk. And, well, yeah. The grip is almost back, but the speed and precision of individual extensions, yeah, that's going to be a thing. But I'm working on workarounds on that. I do think I'll be able to play my tin whistles again, which is good. But I can't play my tin whistles till I feel better because I don't want it to become a reinfect trap. Don says, needed to hear this today. This week I had high hopes of getting back on track. Spine laughed an evil laugh. I know those days well, my dear, and I hope it passes and you can get to doing what you want to do as soon and as painless as possible. Sweet Charcoal is asleep in the sun in my window. Aw. Anthesa says, Nick, Tank, and Quincy are my good vibes and motivation, folks. Woo! You're putting me in some hefty company, sir. Thank you. Dan Hallfield saying, do I need a third cup of coffee? No, but I want one. Yet I'm already vibrating fast enough to walk through walls. Don't join with the speed force right when you're retiring, Dan. And Don says, Dan, do it. Carl says, Trey as Velma? I'll be in my bunk. It's okay. Joey will be in hers. Anyhow, I mean, Mando'll probably be waiting, but that's okay too. Anyhow, listening mode engaged. Feel free. A gradient plant? Oh, no. You don't gotta see that. Oh, you don't gotta see the gradient plant. No, you don't. Alec, you don't gotta see that. You don't. Oh, no. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You see, there's a techno mage who's paying attention. And let's see, Trelena says, catching a greased Bachman? Not in the green room. No, in your bunk. Anyway. Lamau. Not a greased Bachman is a great Bachman. Don says driving mode disengaged. I think I need to re-engage after the greased pop mid comment. Well, there's an area creature alive. It did seem to break the chat. Well, I'm glad the chat was at least damaged properly. I need to go feed Calvin before he tears up the rest of my office. Everyone have a great day. You too, Carl. Thanks for stopping by. So I just started playing around with Microsoft Clipchamp this morning and found it amazingly simple to create a new video advertisement. I desperately need to do that so that I have commercials for all my books with the things that I'm planning to get out. Yes, I know. I am way behind. Kitty lunchtime. Everyone have a great weekend. See you Monday. See you Monday, Donna, if I don't make it to the green room. You have a good one. Lisa says, I've been playing around with Clipchamp for a couple months now. It's a pretty decent program. Woke says, I feel what you're saying. Almost putting other people's dreams before your own can cause you... almost putting other people's dreams before your own because you believe in them. Wasted a bunch of time doing that. I wasted a lot of time with dreams and projects that I will get no reward from. But I learned during that time, and a large for the few losses I've had, I've had too many successes to hesitate. Dan says, I owe people a shorter advert they can run. I'm just too long-winded for short ad, LOL. It happens. Joe says, well, the one I created was about 2.5 minutes long. Probably going to create another one later when I get back from doing some shopping. Well, that sounds fun. Need to get some new shoes after being on Midnights. These have paint all over them now. Nazi. So while Joe's debating what kind of kinky boots he gets, hard not to want to put more info in at Dan Hollifield -1 minute. Yes, and for some reason the upload has been glitching. I will try again next week when I'm feeling better, and hopefully I can get that to work. I don't know what does it. Lisa says, I've been yelled at by Nick more than once for putting myself down. I will continue to, and the beatings shall continue until morale improves. One of my favorite memories, yeah. Start of our friendship. That's an awesome story. Was Joe Grease that day? No, just paid well. I hope there's enough of the Bachmans to go around. Mostly. There's plenty of sweet drizzle for everyone. Insert not the green room here. Well, the man in the piano said so I have to insert not the green room here. Okay. Hello, Matthew. Good morning. Trying to start my own YouTube channel dedicated to books. Excellent. As soon as you get a video set up, let us know. You get a few down. Once you have your groove set up, send me a DM or some comment here, and I'll send you the secret ad link. You can throw try to keep it around 30 seconds and add about your book channel. It would be terrible to have somebody running a book channel who could, provide reviews of the assorted books that people read, write out here. That would be terrible. Joe says, very nice, Matthew. Is it going to be a book reviews or news about books that have recently come out? Come out soon. That's the great question. And Ethan, hey, Ethan. Ugh, standing at home and need to go to work. Sorry. Morning, y'all. And Alec is happy to see you. YouTube keeps saying, I cannot link my books to my description. Okay. If you have a link for your books, you should be able to put the link in your description. That might be what's causing you some hassle. So if you go down into the description, hit the little more tab, you'll see how all my links come up. What I do is I write them in Google Docs. I used to have it in a different thing, but I've had to move between devices enough now that I like having a Google Docs file of the end of the 3 shows I usually run, being Nevermind the Furthermore, Art Time with Nick, and the Historical Fencing Guild live stream. And each one has a different end, description piece that goes on every video. And I just throw that up there, add extras if I need to, tweak it, and go. It saves me a lot of time. That will probably be the best way. And then once the video is up and put in, you or someone probably someone can put the review to the link to the video about it onto your book review. It gets a little tricky, but it's totally doable. Hey, Alec. Good morning, Ethan. I'm trying to appeal denied. That's really weird. And morning, Matthew and Ethan. Trellian's greeting. And we've got greetings. At Matthew, are you trying to link directly to the book on your author page? I see here on Nick's show in the description, it is linked to his author page on Amazon. Yeah. My show's linked to that, but linking that, you could link it to the channel, but linking it to the individual video won't work. It could be a little spicy. Let's see. I was told Thesis was being yelled at again. Hey, Foxy. Yes. No, just Thesis was being reminded to appreciate his own glory, or his glory will be appreciated for him. Let's see. Alex says, my legs decided yesterday no walking privileges for you. When I stood up last night, the floor was like, hi there. That's probably why back and everything hurts. Oh, I have had many a times has the floor risen up to meet my face. Walls are good friends, but I will tell you at the end of the day, the floor is always there for me. Let's see. Called back. Have a great weekend, all. You too. Ouch, I'm familiar with that. Yep. Yeah, gravity is a pain when your legs don't work. Very familiar with that. See you, Dawn. Bye, Dawn. As a member of the medical community, it's not good to mention that your legs aren't supposed to just dip. To make external links clickable, first complete one-time verification. Okay, well then you have to complete that. Keeps rejecting. That's strange. I agree with Ethan, but can't change what it is, what it should be. I know he has some medical issues. Yeah, not the green room. Understandable, Foxy. More people do than don't, honestly. Yes, a lot of people around here are colorfully inclined medically. I take great pride that were I to suddenly die, I would be an interesting conversation for Ducky from NCIS. Like when he cracked me up and started doing the whole autopsy and seeing things, it would just be he'd have to have a conversation to figure that out. And then you look into my blood typologies and everything that's going on in there. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, do you know me, Ethan? You don't know how, and I got some problems that still aren't named. That happens to several of us. I sympathize, Alec. We're still working on what's wrong with me too. Just keep trying to get my mom to find the right doctor because all the ones I've been to are not good, and it's hard having to find one who actually get an appointment. I understand that too. I link to story origin. That's odd. Because we usually have to drive an hour longer to get to a good doctor. Yep. At least when you become acquainted with the floor, you didn't break anything. True that. Oh, I love Ducky from NCIS. Thesis lost to the stare. Indeed. But guys, I'm going to run some ads real quick, and I do want to wind down because I have to get some stuff ready before I go to my doctor. So let's run some ads for some people who haven't been run today, and then we'll wrap the show.
Hey there, everyone. This is Donna Filene. Want some romance mixed in with a dead body or more? Then you enjoy my Hunter's Ridge series. Set in a small town in Alabama, it's the story of Northern Rider computer tech Harley Simone and the love of her life, Captain B.J. Martin of the Hunter's Ridge PD. But life in a small town is not all roses and beer, as Harley's expertise in true-life crime-telling makes her the Hunter's Ridge murder expert. And then there's nowhere to go dancing except to Dixie with his country music. But Rocker Carly can adjust, can't she?
I got more coming.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
Hi, bunnies. This is Robin Yoda. Just wanting to let you know I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Robin Yoda. You can catch me there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific playing Stardew Valley, Saturdays at 2 p.m. playing The Sims 4, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific playing a random game from my Game Pass library. You can also find me Mondays on my YouTube channel, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for supporting Robin. And guys, I hope you've had a good show. I will be back later tonight on my sister network, the Historical Fencing Guild, to talk about fencing and merriment and whatever else comes floating up. I will also be back Monday for another stunning episode of Nevermind The Furthermore. And somewhere between that now and then, there might be an art time with Nick, depending on my scheduling and whether or not some of my more nefarious skills are required. But till then, Guys, keep creating, keep drawing, keep writing, keep making things, because you can always edit it, you can improve it, but you cannot edit a blank page. I love you guys, and you should too. See you soon.